Same time, same place, different race. Welcome along to the Red Bull Ring once again, where this weekend it is the 36th World Championship Grand Prix in Austria. It is the Austrian Grand Prix. It's round 9 of this Formula One season in 2021. And since the start of the 2020 season, we have now celebrated 52 weeks on the road with Formula One, with 26 races being held. The fans have been encouraged to come along to the circuit by public transport today. There are 5,000 bicycle parking spots. Good job, there are lots of Dutch fans to fill those bicycle parking spots. Orange is the predominant colour in the grandstands. 2.68 miles this track, 3 DRS zones towards the first corner and up towards turn 3 and down towards turn 4. Elevation changes everywhere here. 63.5 metres from the lowest to the highest point. And this is a rise up to turn 1. But Pastor Maldonado very nearly went into the back of Max Verstappen in 2015. Maldonado wasn't overly happy with Verstappen's driving that day. And I'm sure Giovinazzi and Latifi weren't overly happy to get caught out by Pierre Gasly, who had a puncture at this stage 7 days ago down at turn 3. Charles Leclerc was the man that caused that puncture. He had to pit at the end of the first lap. This is his overtake on Yuki Tsunoda as he made his way back up to 7th place by the checkered flag. Now, one thing is different from last week, and it's the tyre compounds. Still soft, medium and hard, but we've gone a step softer. So it's C5, C4 and C3, the softest compounds in the Pirelli range. And the grid then for the Austrian Grand Prix sees Max Verstappen take his 4th pole of 2021. He'd only taken 3 poles in his career previous to this. Lando Norris alongside him on the front row for the first time in his career. Sergio Perez makes it 2 Red Bulls in the top 3. Lewis Hamilton best 4th for Mercedes, ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas, who starts 5th for the second weekend running, and last weekend he got a penalty. Pierre Gasly 6th as he was last weekend. Yuki Tsunoda equals his career best, qualifying in 7th, ahead of George Russell, highest start as a Williams driver. Lance Stroll starts 9th ahead of Carlos Sainz, promoted up to the 10th spot as Sebastian Vettel took a 3-place grid penalty. He's alongside Charles Leclerc in the other Ferrari. Behind these two come Daniel Ricciardo, unlucky 13th for the second week in a row, and Fernando Alonso, who was unlucky to be impeded by Vettel in qualifying. 2 Alfa Romeos alongside each other, Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen. Esteban Ocon knocked out in Q1 for the second weekend running, has Nicholas Latifi for company, and it's the 2 Haas drivers of Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin on the back row of the grid once again. We're all set for an Austrian Grand Prix that, well, Max Verstappen might have been the man of the moment 7 days ago. Who's to say he won't be again this afternoon, Paul di Resta, but he's got new challenges if he is to take another victory.
Absolutely, Crofty. He's nailed it, hasn't he? He's absolutely got himself in the best position. But who said Formula 1 could be predictable? We have different tyres, but we have a different lineup on the grid. We've got Lando Norris lining up there, superb, I think, driver of the day yesterday, and so close to getting pole position. He is going to make it difficult for the works drivers, the Mercedes-Benz drivers, who need, as Lewis has said himself, damage limitation today.
How close was Lando Norris to pole? Well, it was just under half a tenth of a second. Shall I put that into metres for you? It was just shy of 2 Lando Norrises in terms of distance. That's how close he got to the first ever pole.
It's absolutely incredible, isn't it? And we know last week a 2-stop strategy nearly got Perez back on track and back in front of Bottas after that shaky pit stop they had. He had track position before, they lost out with the rear left, the slow pit stop, and nearly brought it back. With the softer tyres, somebody can do that. And if you're Mercedes, why not throw Bottas? Why not throw Hamilton into that situation?
Now, this week's hard tyre was last week's medium tyre, and Carlos Sainz has chosen the hard tyre to start the race. He gets a free choice because he was outside the top 10 originally.
Absolutely, you could tell at the end of qualifying that's what they were going to do. Why would you choose that? Well, look at it. You can go longer into the race. Free air was the big thing, the impact he made. And of course, with a little bit of weather around, why not run longer into the race? And if you can get a small shower, absolutely, you'll take very much the track position on that.
Others with a free tyre choice: Leclerc, Ricciardo, Alonso and Giovinazzi going on the mediums, Raikkonen on the hards, Ocon, Latifi, Schumacher and Mazepin on the mediums in the top 10. If you get into the top 10 in Q3 in qualifying, you start on the tyre you set your fastest lap on in Q2. That's what Pierre Gasly has to do, and he's got the soft tyre to start alongside Yuki Tsunoda and also Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel as well. That's not the best tyre to be on at the start of this race.
It's not the best tyre to be on, but if if you're the Red Bull Junior team, I'm sure you're going to be told, use the advantage of those soft tyres. Get your muscles out and get involved with Bottas and Hamilton, because that will make the impact a little bit easier for the top Red Bull team who are a bit further up the road.
Yeah, softer tyre should get you a better getaway, so watch out, Mercedes, for the cars behind. Watch out for the Dutch fans who'll be giving it absolute full beams from the grandstands all afternoon long. And in the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen goes into this race with an 18-point advantage over Lewis Hamilton, and it's a 40-point advantage for Red Bull over Mercedes at the Red Bull Ring, where